Power diminishes as soon as it becomes commonplace. People tend to disregard those who are always around, consuming them and ultimately discarding them. Machiavelli recognized a harsh reality. What's common is undervalued, while rarity incites fear. The worth of gold comes from its limited availability, just like power. Historically, kings didn't mingle with the masses. Instead, they made rare appearances, akin to eclipses, leaving people in anticipation and awe. The less you show yourself, the more others will conjure images of you, and what they imagine can be more potent than reality. Scarcity isn't a sign of weakness. It's a strategic move. By limiting access to yourself, you spark desire. When you withdraw, people will pursue you. By controlling your visibility, your absence can become a powerful tool. Cease striving for approval. Stop being overly accessible. Machiavelli's advice is straightforward. Show up less, ask for more, and see how others perceive you as a treasure rather than a mere pawn. If you're constantly around, you lose your worth. However, if you're rare, you become invulnerable, prompting others to fear losing you. Scarcity not only safeguards your value, but can also cultivate an influential presence, one that leads others to tread cautiously around you. They become anxious about your favor, interpreting your actions as deliberate and significant. You evolve from being just a person into a commanding presence. This presence is potent because it shifts how others interact with you. When you're not easily accessible, people stop taking you for granted. When they cannot anticipate your actions, they become fixated on you. If they cannot control you, they will start to hold you in respect, even trepidation. This presence isn't magical, it's rooted in practical psychology. Machiavelli observed this in Renaissance courts, where rulers who appeared infrequently became the center of intrigue. Nobles would gossip, speculate, and vie for closeness, all while the prince exerted minimal effort. Your aura can be developed similarly today. It demands discipline over arrogance. Don't feel the need to explain your unavailability or justify your silence. Let curiosity flourish. Allow discussions to happen, and let people pursue you. If they are uncertain about your feelings towards them, they will strive to win your approval. However, be cautious. This powerful aura can also lead to danger for you. The influence it offers might entice you into complacency, making you think that your scarcity makes you invincible. Machiavelli warned that this power, based on perception, requires genuine strength to support it. If you're rare but weak, others will eventually see through your facade. In contrast, if you're rare and strong, your reputation becomes unassailable. The ultimate aim is to find balance. Be present enough to remind others you exist, yet scarce enough to create a longing for your company. Be friendly enough to prevent hostility, but distant enough to evade disdain. This careful balance, neither too close nor too far, is where genuine authority thrives. Those who excel at being scarce don't just hold power, they emanate it. They enter a space and the atmosphere shifts immediately because everyone has been anticipating their arrival. Their lack of presence has already conveyed more than their actual words. When they finally show up, it solidifies the impression they leave behind. They are seen as significant, untouchable, and not to be challenged. This reflects the Machiavellian strategy of scarcity. When executed correctly, it doesn't just earn you respect, it instills fear. Importantly, it makes you indispensable. Humanity often behaves irrationally regarding value. We don't evaluate something based on its true worth, but rather on its availability. Machiavelli recognized this human flaw and weaponized it. He clearly stated that people value what is hard to obtain. If you want to enhance your worth in others' eyes, you first need to make yourself rare. Why is gold so revered? It's not due to its innate utility. Its many applications were discovered long after it was deemed valuable. People admire it because it's limited. Apply the same strategy to yourself. When you're overly accessible, your worth diminishes. But when you restrict your presence, like a monarch who opens his gates only for the deserving, others will view you as invaluable. Scarcity generates intrigue. When people can't easily access you, they speculate about what you are doing, who you are with, and what you are hiding. Their curiosity amplifies your influence. The less visible you are, the more assumptions they make. A leader who conceals their actions seems all-powerful. Someone who doesn't respond to every call exudes significance and importance. Modern society suggests the contrary, promoting constant connectivity and responsiveness. Yet, being perpetually available makes you predictable, and predictability undermines power. Once people can anticipate your every action, their fear and value of you dissipate. You become comparable to water flowing through unsealed streets, functional but commonplace. Machiavelli analyzed rulers and despots who wielded absence as a tool. They would vanish from their courts for weeks, instilling anxiety among the nobles. They would procrastinate on decisions, prompting their subjects to plead for action. They would allow access so infrequently that any meeting became a significant event. Even their adversaries feared being left out. Scarcity incites desire, yes, but more importantly, it cultivates reliance. Think about your own experiences. The coworker who is perpetually available for lunch gets overlooked. The friend who always agrees is taken for granted, and the partner who is consistently there loses their charm. Human behavior can be harsh. We don't hold value for what we can easily attain. Conversely, when something or someone is elusive, we instinctively believe it holds greater worth. This is the mindset behind scarcity. It's effective because people are inclined to pursue what is distant and disregard what is close. If you reveal everything, they will become disenchanted. Yet if you conceal yourself, they'll lie awake at night trying to decipher you. Machiavelli's essential lesson is straightforward but unyielding. To appear powerful, you must become scarce. Instead of disappearing completely, make appearances on your own terms at a time that suits you, much like a king entering his throne room. If people expect you to respond at all times, you're seen as a servant. But if they await your words, you become a master. Scarcity isn't something passive or a sign of weakness. It's a strategic choice, a purposeful silence that prompts others to act first. When you do choose to speak, every word holds significance. Likewise, when you show up, every look has importance. This is the way influential leaders, brave warriors, and clever strategists throughout history have elevated themselves above the ordinary by refusing to blend in. Scarcity is intentional. It's a powerful tool that requires thoughtful use. Machiavelli's genius lay in turning human frailty into a tactical advantage. He recognized that people naturally cherish what is scarce, which means you must manage your presence as a miser would guard his wealth. This isn't about hiding away. It's about presenting yourself on your own conditions so that each appearance has significance. Here's Machiavelli's approach to using scarcity as a strategy. First, strategically pull away from the masses. Avoid being perpetually visible or available. Don't feel compelled to attend every gathering, answer every message, or fulfill every demand. Creating distance stirs curiosity. Your silence compels others to speculate about your actions, your associations, and the reason behind your need for solitude. This uncertainty enhances your influence. Second, regulate who has access to you. A monarch doesn't open his gates to every passerby, and you shouldn't either. Determine who can reach you and convey, without uttering a word, that your time is valuable. When access is limited, people regard it as a privilege. They'll approach you with care, reverence, even trepidation, knowing you can choose to withdraw. Third, make your appearances purposeful and selective. When you do re-emerge, do so at advantageous moments. Ensure that your presence feels deliberate, not coincidental. If you're rare, even a minor gesture, a single meeting, or a solitary remark will hold the weight of an order. People will hang on your every word because they don't often hear from you. Fourth, convert absence into fascination, not oversight. Scarcity isn't about vanishing entirely. If you're away for too long, individuals may move on without you. The objective is to share enough to keep their interest without completely satisfying it. This approach keeps individuals wanting more, pondering your absence and feeling unsettled. When they miss you, they hold you in higher regard. When they speculate about you, their respect for you deepens. Lastly, utilize scarcity to influence perceptions. By limiting your presence, you dictate how others perceive you. When you're always in sight, they notice your imperfections. Rare appearances, on the other hand, allow others to only see the curated image you present. You can convey confidence, authority, and even fear, and they will believe it simply because they lack evidence to dispute it. Machiavelli recognized this principle in action during Renaissance courts, where rulers maintained their power by making themselves scarce. They only showed up when choices needed to be made, and strictly on their own conditions. This made nobles and diplomats wait for weeks just to have a brief meeting. Such a delay alone projected a sense of control. I dictate when you meet me, not the reverse. You can implement this mindset today. In your career, aim to be the individual whose time is deemed precious. In your personal life, become the one who is sought after instead of the one chasing after others. In all situations, let your absence resonate louder than your spoken words. Creating scarcity shifts the power dynamics favorably towards you, compelling others to align with your preferences. They must conform to your timing, your availability, and your rules. They find themselves vying for your attention rather than the other way around. And when the time comes for them to finally see you, your presence carries more significance because you've conditioned them to view it that way. Machiavelli's strategy is brutal, yet straightforward. Show up less, expect more, let them wait, keep them guessing, and make them earn your time. By consistently applying this approach, you will enhance your worth in the eyes of those around you. Scarcity alone makes you valued, but to convert that value into true power, you should be using it to draw people towards you. The influential do not chase, they attract. Machiavelli understood that a leader who pursues his followers loses stature. However, a leader who compels his followers to pursue him becomes a true ruler both in title and in reality. So, how can you inspire people to seek you out willingly, perhaps even with urgency? First, wield delay as a strategy. When someone requests your attention, don't readily give it. Make them wait. Such delays don't diminish your strength, they undermine theirs. When individuals are kept waiting, they start to question if they still hold your favor. That doubt gnaws at them, making them strive harder to restore equilibrium. Second, cultivate controlled unpredictability. Being consistently predictable makes you easy to overlook. If people are uncertain about when you will be available, how you will respond, or what you will say, they'll pay more attention. This unpredictability keeps them anxious, worried about displeasing you or losing your interest. Third, offer rewards selectively. When you eventually allow someone access, ensure it feels earned. Recognize those who demonstrate patience or prove their worth. If you treat everyone the same, your favor loses its value. If you honor only a few, everyone else will vie for your attention, hoping to be the next recipient. Fourth, utilize silence to create intrigue. You don't have to respond to everything instantly. You don't need to provide explanations all the time. Sometimes silence speaks volumes more than a multitude of words. When you don't react right away, people start to project their fears and desires onto you. They speculate about your thoughts and reactions and strive for your approval to avoid your discontent. Fifth, exude power when you finally do show up. If you've been scarce, each appearance is significant. Don't waste it on trivial gestures. Speak with conviction. Act with intent. People will amplify your every word since they seldom hear from you. When you give your attention, make it intentional, almost as if you're doing someone a favor. This creates a magnetic pull to your presence. Machiavelli recognized that people are often trapped by their own doubts. When they are uncertain about their relationship with you, they tend to gravitate closer. If they're unsure of your approval, they will strive harder to earn it. When they fear losing you, they come rushing back. That's why you should never pursue. Chasing reverses the power balance, suggesting that you need them more than they need you, and they'll respond accordingly. Take a look at leaders, CEOs, and generals, those who command loyalty. They don't freely give away their time. Their attention is limited, their approval is carefully given, and their disapproval is silent yet formidable. People will go to great lengths to remain in their favor. You can adopt this strategy in your life too. In business, don't sell yourself short. Require others to show they merit your collaboration. In relationships, don't beg for love. Allow others to strive for your company. In every encounter, communicate this reality. Your time is limited, your attention is valuable, and your support must be earned rather than simply given. When others pursue you, they invest emotionally, and the more they invest, the more they fear losing you. This is a profound lesson from Machiavelli. Scarcity not only enhances your value, but it also creates a bond. People will safeguard you, obey you, and even idolize you because they cannot bear the thought of you being absent. If scarcity empowers you, then being constantly available weakens you. Nothing diminishes authority quicker than being easily accessible, predictable, and convenient. Machiavelli noticed this in the courts and palaces long before today's society. Familiarity can lead to disdain. The more people see you, the less they fear you. The easier you are to reach, the less respect you garner. Availability creates a sense of equality, which is detrimental to power. A prince who interacts too casually with his subjects stops feeling regal, and a commander who spends too much time socializing with his troops is seen as a friend rather than a leader. A person who always answers calls trains others to think their time is theirs. You risk becoming part of their everyday life, losing your status as an authority figure and becoming just another regular item in their environment. Consider how rulers acted in the past. They existed behind walls with carefully staged and infrequent appearances. Those wishing to speak with them often had to plead for an audience, sometimes waiting for weeks. This wasn't just arrogance, it was a calculated strategy. By restricting access, they increased their own worth. People valued what they couldn't easily approach. In contrast, think of someone who is always around. If someone is perpetually present, their words lose significance, their absence isn't noticed, and their return is unremarkable. They fade into the background. Even their generosity loses its appeal because it becomes expected rather than deserved. Making yourself overly accessible can lead to being taken advantage of. When you're always available, people consume your time and energy without reciprocating because they come to see your resources as limitless. Moreover, being constantly present reveals your vulnerabilities. When people see you frequently, they begin to notice your imperfections, self-doubt, and humanity, which diminishes your allure. What once seemed impressive now appears regular and can even be disappointing. Machiavelli understood that power relies heavily on perception rather than mere facts. A leader who makes rare appearances maintains a strong image, while one who is always around risks losing control of how they are perceived. This principle extends beyond political contexts. In the world of business, an entrepreneur who attends every meeting is viewed as just another employee. An executive who responds to emails immediately may seem like they have no other priorities. In relationships, someone who is always available tends to be taken for granted, while a person who is harder to reach becomes more desirable. This same concept influences all human interactions. What is plentiful gets overlooked, while what is scarce is actively sought after. Once you provide unlimited access to yourself, you diminish your worth. Despite being skilled or intelligent, you might think that your constant presence fosters loyalty, but you actually encourage others to view you as easily replaceable. Machiavelli's insights were brutally honest because they were accurate. He advised leaders to manage not only their actions but also their visibility. By appearing less frequently, they seemed more occupied, significant, and even intimidating. By holding back, they created a space that naturally draws others in. People worry about missing out, strive for attention, and value every interaction and decision highly. If you aim to maintain authority in any realm, whether it's professional, social, or personal, you must resist the temptation to always be available or respond immediately. While being available may seem strong, it undermines your authority and diminishes your mystique, allowing others to dictate your time, energy, and ultimately your worth. The answer isn't arrogance but discipline. Reduce your presence, speak less, and offer less. Make your presence something to be noticed rather than expected. When you step away, it should be felt like a loss, akin to the absence of oxygen. When you return, it should feel like a privilege. Power exists in two forms, one that can be quantified and another that is felt. The latter is bolstered by scarcity. It's not just about possessions, words, or actions, but rather about what people perceive you might do but don't. By intentionally limiting your presence, others begin to sense deeper layers to you. They imagine you are busy with more significant endeavors or engaging with influential allies, making strategic moves beyond their view. Their anxiety about missing out enhances your reputation far more than any speech or show of strength could. Scarcity has the potential to transform speculation into loyalty and apprehension into obedience. People pursue you not because you order them to, but because they're eager to understand your position. Your silence becomes striking due to its rarity. When you speak infrequently, your words carry significant meaning. A brief remark feels authoritative, while a moment of silence appears as a challenge. People pay close attention, scrutinizing your tone, facial expressions, and timing. They concoct possibilities and strategies that may not exist, which ultimately benefits you. Additionally, infrequency enhances your presence. When you do show up, the difference is felt strongly. Your entrance is celebrated, and your approval is regarded as a valuable gift. Because your actions are uncommon, people pay close attention to them, and rarity is a source of power. A king doesn't stroll through the streets every day. When he steps onto the balcony, the crowd gathers eagerly. Furthermore, scarcity causes others to protect your reputation on your behalf. Those who seek your attention become your staunch defenders. They strive to earn your favor, which leads them to silence any critics for you. They invest in safeguarding your image because they view their connection to you as a mark of their own status. Moreover, scarcity intensifies the pressure of your absence. When you're not consistently available, people start to speculate about your whereabouts, your meetings, and your plans. Their imaginations exaggerate the possibilities, often assuming you have more appealing options and fearing replacement. This anxiety compels them to pursue you more vigorously and to comply with your wishes. Power doesn't stem from pursuing others, it arises from making them pursue you. Scarcity is not merely a strategy, but rather an essential aspect of your identity. When you cease to chase every opportunity, person, or request, your worth increases. By controlling your presence, managing your time, and being selective with your words, people will no longer take you for granted. They will recognize when you speak, notice your absence, and feel the impact of your return. Scarcity makes others reliant on you. When they require you more than you need them, the balance shifts dramatically. You no longer have to justify your worth. Instead, they begin to prove their value to you. You won't be chasing power. It will chase you instead. Genuine scarcity not only safeguards your worth, but it also cultivates a certain mystique. People start to view you as larger than life. They contemplate your thoughts during your silence and fear losing your favor when you seem distant. They interpret every action as intentional and every word as a strategic choice. In their eyes, you transform from an ordinary person into a significant presence. This presence can be formidable. Your silence reverberates, your absence weighs heavy, and your approval becomes a rare, coveted treasure. As a result, people instinctively work to defend your reputation and uphold your name, even in discussions where you aren't present, not out of loyalty, but due to a fear of losing access to you. However, it's crucial to understand that this isn't sorcery. It's about discipline. While anyone can saturate the world with their attention, only a few can exercise restraint. Embracing scarcity entails resisting the temptation to over-explain, over-give, and overexpose oneself. The vulnerable crave attention, the powerful make others aware of their absence. Indeed, being rare comes with a price. You need to have the strength to support it. If you're rare but lacking substance, people will eventually catch on. However, if you're both rare and robust, if your abilities, influence, and resources are substantial, your reputation will amplify every time you remain silent. This is Machiavelli's strategy. It might not be kind or equitable, but it's effective in legal settings, businesses, and personal connections. Society doesn't reward those who are desperate. It values those who are exceptional. Therefore, cease sharing every thought you have. Quit justifying your actions. Don't give your presence to those who haven't earned it. Instead, strive to be the person others chase after, the one who is hard to reach, the topic of conversation in your absence. If you've discovered something valuable here that isn't often discussed openly, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it, and subscribe now, as this kind of influence won't stay available for long. Be rare, be desired, be intimidating. And when you enter a room, let people recognize your uniqueness well before you say a word.